Hey guys, I hope you're hungry. Welcome back to Full Incense and War Stories. My name is Jericho, and today I'm joined by TheIceMann to make a return to some of our wrestling content. We missed the last WWE pay-per-view, Payback, but we are back to do a little review and discussion of last night's Extreme Rules event. So, what'd you think of the show?
Overall, I'd give it a B+.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
It had a lot of good moments.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it, actually. I mean, a lot of the matches, again, were super entertaining. Just the results are somewhat lacking.
Right. As has been the case in recent WWE stuff, it's just like they... It really seems like they know what we want, but they're still going to do what they want. They're just going to tease it more than ever.
Yes. Right. I don't know if they do that maliciously. Like, I want to hope that they wouldn't, because they're just in this to make money.
Right, and how petty.
They're just doing what they think is best to make money. So by giving us, meaning, online, internet fans, essentially, what they want, but then also, kind of doing what WWE does as well, like kind of the best of both worlds. But then I think doing that, it lacks on both sides, really.
Yep, I agree.
Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely. And like, if they are just doing it out of like pettiness or whatever, like what does that mean about the company that we give our money and our time and our attention to? Like what does that say? That
right.
We'll show you. Okay, so getting into the match itself, so the pre-show, we had Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler, and I really hope the feud is over. The matches have been okay because Corbin has a lot of really good-looking offense, and Ziggler is probably the best in the WWE at selling, but I just don't care about it. And obviously WWE doesn't either, since it's been relegated to the pre-show every single time.
Yeah. And it hasn't gotten any, really very little time on Raw. I actually don't even know why they're feuding. Is it because Corbin won the Battle Royal?
Yeah, he won the Battle Royal, and then the next night, he had a match with Ziggler, just as like okay, well now you're gonna have a match. And then he was really brutal with Ziggler, and then Ziggler got mad about it, and then they feuded.
Okay. If they're gonna do the feud, that's fine, but just tell me why.
Right, exactly. But I'm glad that Baron Corbin won, and Ziggler, I think, should go the route of Cody Rhodes and Barrett, and just look. I'm just gonna do something else. If you're not gonna give me the chance I deserve, go to New Japan, go to Ring of Honor, go to not TNA, of course, but go somewhere else.
No.
And prove that you really do have it, and that you can be trusted to be, in charge, the leading guy in a company, and then come back down the road. Because I don't think he's doing himself any favors now, and he's just going to weaken his reputation in the eyes of his fans, who are just going to be tired of trusting him, having faith in him, and then nothing ends up happening. And I know it's not his fault. He's as good a wrestler as he ever was, but it's just disappointing, and I'm just tired of it.
Me too.
Okay, so that was our pre-show match. I'm sorry, what?
Nothing.
So moving on to the main card, the first match was the Club, as they're called, unfortunately. Anderson and Gallows versus the Usos. And I was happy to see Anderson and Gallows have complete control and win dominantly and cleanly. Because I thought they really needed it. The Usos are really, really strange to me right now, because they're acting like heels, and they're very...
They really are, yeah.
And like...
So then Roman Reigns is. And they're trying to help Roman the entire time.
Like, not to get ahead of ourselves, but when they run out in the main event, it's just like everybody hates it. It reminded me of like when the Nexus guys would help Barrett. Like everybody just boos and hates it. It's like, oh, these stupid little peons are here again. And the Usos used to stand on their own as faces, and now they're just these hated henchmen. And it's just a really weird place for them. How are they going to come back from this as faces? Because I don't think in WWE's mind they're any more heel than Roman is. So like what I guess they'll just put him in a different feud with a more completely healed team. But I don't know. I think it's really. And they were never really faces for their characters either, because they have so little character to begin with. All they can do, all they're judged by is who they're fighting, and they're continually being put against people that the audience loves. So it's just not effective.
I agree.
But the match was really good. The Usos really are an excellent team, and I like that they've never tried to split them up. They've never tried to do anything stupid. Like, they've just always been a tag. They're just a career tag team, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. We need more of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the next match on the main card was Rusev versus Kalisto. And that was another match that I was really happy with from start to finish. It wasn't like a clinic or anything, but it was so nice to see Rusev dominant again and just destroy Kalisto and have him have a really big popular baby. Well, I don't know how popular he is, but somewhat, at least with kids, you know, they wear the masks and all that. A big popular baby face just tap out to a heel. That happens so rarely. And it wasn't, he didn't pass out, he didn't, it just hurts too much. They didn't call off the match, no. It hurt really bad, so he had to tap out and quit because the bad guy was the better man. It was very refreshing to see.
It seemed like they were going to stop it at first, didn't it? Like,
yes.
I said it to you, like, it seemed like it was going to be one of those ridiculous, even though it was, was it a no DQ match? Was there anything special to it?
I don't think there was.
Okay. But even so, like, Rusev puts the beating on Kalisto, and then the referee pulls Rusev away from the match so that he can check on Kalisto, right? And Rusev kept going at it. And I was going to be so mad if the referee just decided to DQ him because Rusev wasn't listening to him. Like no.
Yeah, what difference does that make? It's a fight. Like, I really hate when WWE doesn't follow their own rules.
Right.
And I mean, like we just said, I guess didn't have a stipulation. Although that's like is an annoyance to me too. Is that at Extreme Rules they have no just regular singles matches. Mm-hmm. I gotta really see the point of that.
How much they bill it as the one night we go Extreme, even though that's silliness. Also, there should not be a single, just a straight up match.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it. So TLC isn't Extreme? Money in the Bank isn't Extreme? Nah. Hell in a Cell. So yeah, no complaints there. I thought it was of a decent length too. As good as Rusev is, I like him much. He's like built for squash matches. I really like just him just coming out there, beating somebody and leaving. So in fact, besides the main event and the Intercontinental title match, that was probably my favorite match on the show.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
So the next match on our card was the New Day versus the Vaudevillains, and this match was fine too, perfectly serviceable, and it was nice to see Xavier Woods actually get to fight for once. He so often is just on the outside, and he's really good too. I mean, he's every bit as good as Kofi, so it was nice to see him in the ring. But there were two things that were really weird to me. One was the face New Day having to cheat to win.
Yeah, I had a huge problem with that. Huge problem. No problem at all with them retaining. I mean, they've had the titles a long time and are definitely closer to losing them than they are from when they won them, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
The way that was done, that's ridiculous. You just turn them face, you're trying to get heat on the Vaudevillains, and then they have to use their third guy to win? Like, what does that do for anybody?
When they were still heels, but were like really turning face and really loved, like in the lead up to WrestleMania, and they would still cheat to win, I really liked it because that showed that they're still bad guys. Like, okay, you can cheer us if you want, but we're still dicks and we're still gonna do what we have to do to keep our titles.
Right.
But now it's just weird, and it just seems like very disingenuous when they talk about, like, I don't know. But what you said is totally covers it. That you're trying to get heat on the Vaudevillains and you're trying to get the New Day over as being a face group now after being heels for so long, that they would just have to cheat to win is just really silly to me. The other problem I had with it was Xavier Woods just kicked out of the Whirling Dervish, which is the Vaudevillains tag team finisher move. And kicking out of finishers happens a lot in today's WWE. And in general, it's something I don't really like, but I understand why it's important, and it makes those really exciting matches that much more exciting and thrilling when like, oh my gosh, he kicked out, you know, and that's really how they build the anticipation in those huge matches. But they're a brand new team, and somebody's already kicked out of their finisher in just a basically run-of-the-mill title defense. So like, it already has lost its impact and lost its luster to me somewhat, because already you just shook it off.
Right.
So
that's just a huge problem in WWE in general. Is the finishers don't mean anything really anymore.
Yeah, there are so few finishers that just always win matches nowadays. Like, I can't think of any. Well, there's one, which is Roman Reigns' spear.
We'll get to that.
But the vast majority just, like, you have to do it at least 2 or 3 times, and that's silly to me. Why call it a finisher? Okay, so next match on the show, I have to eat my words because there were a lot of finishers delivered in this match that people kicked out of, but it just made the match all the better, and that was the Intercontinental title Fatal 4-Way match, which, apart from being match of the night, easily to me, I think it's got to be my front runner for match of the year. Like, I think I liked it more than Nakamura and Sami Zayn, which was my previous choice.
Say that again.
That I think I preferred this Fatal 4-Way to Nakamura versus Sami Zayn, which was my previous match of the year.
Definitely. I mean, this match had all the excitement of that. Plus, there was something on the line. You get more invested in this, for sure. Right, and
way more character work because of these 4 have been so intertwined. This is an excellent feud. This is like why I love wrestling. The Intercontinental title scene right now is really, really brilliant. So, absolutely no complaints here. An incredible match, and I was really happy with the finish. That's what I thought would happen, was that Miz would sneak away with it one more time, because I think all of them are destined for greater things than this right now. I think Owens has Money in the Bank all but wrapped up. I would be really surprised to see anybody other than him win it. Well, at least if it's not him, it would be Zayn or Cesaro or somebody else in this feud, because that's really the mid-card is just the backbone of the WWE right now.
I mean, this might be one of the, like, I mean, I'm sure there have been other great ones, but I mean, this is like the best mid-card I've seen, at least in a really long time. Just the entire, just from top to bottom.
Yep.
It's incredible.
But yeah, I totally agree with that this is just the strongest it's been. When you can compare it to, like, even just the U.S. title picture, especially before now when it was in the hands of Kalisto, like, nobody cared about the feud, nobody cared about the matches, always on the pre-show. Like, compare that to the Intercontinental title, where everybody cares, everybody's invested, there's lots of really good contenders to the title that make sense, and there's both personal reasons and just trying to get the title. It's not just, oh, I just want to be a champion. They also hate each other. That played into this Intercontinental title match too, that Sami Zayn was so obsessed with punishing Owens that it cost him the whole match. Like, I don't know, it was just perfect.
I loved that. So he finally just, like, snapped. Like, after everything that has come to a head between them, or everything that happened to them, it just came to a head, and Zayn just snapped, and it ended up costing him the match.
Especially to see a face do that too.
I really enjoyed that.
Like, usually that's the sort of tactic that a heel would employ, but to see, like, a face just lose his mind and just get mad is just, I don't know.
Zayn of all people, you know?
Definitely. I really can't say enough about that match. It was easily, you know, the I don't know, some of the best wrestling stuff I've seen this year, bar none.
And can we just talk about Miz's work the last couple months?
He has totally turned it around. I love him just as much as the other ones.
Yeah. Like, how good has he been? Him getting Maurice and the quoting, like, the Hollywood, the famous movies and stuff.
I love it.
Really cool stuff to add to his character. I mean, he's doing some of his best work.
And, like, doing double takes, or like second takes, I should say, for his promos. It's so smart.
Yeah.
It's so great. Yeah, he always has been such a good player of a character. Like, if they give him something that he can really work with, he does great work with it. So, I don't know. It's just really great to see them give him a chance. And I think this is good for him. I don't care if he's not in the main event, but just, I don't know. I'm really happy with where he is right now. And his character right now, and having Lana, I mean, not Lana, Maurice, is just perfect. Okay, so next up we had Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho in an Asylum match. And I was very, very disappointed. And I have to start to think, like, is Ambrose just not as good as we thought he is? Because match after match, week after week, feud after feud, it just does not deliver like we thought it would. Like, I remember at Night of Champions, Jericho was Ambrose's mystery partner. And they had their little like run in at the end of the match, and it was like, oh my gosh, are these two gonna feud? How amazing would that be? And then it got held off until now. It's just disappointing. The match was boring and weird. Like,
I enjoyed the ending. I liked when the thumbtacks came out. They made it dramatic. It was a dramatic ending, definitely. I thought. But yeah, for the most part, I was super disappointed and kind of bored by that match.
Yep, me too. Especially after like how dynamic and fun the Intercontinental title match was. And this was the longest match on the show. It was almost 10 minutes longer than the Intercontinental title. And just seemed like just to drag, like, okay, now we have to wait for one of them to climb the cell and grab another weapon. I think it just was not what I thought it could have been. But I've said that about so much of Dean Ambrose's stuff lately that it's just really, it's really disappointing to not see him live up to his potential. And that's really what it feels like he's doing.
That's tough. That's tough. I'm not ready to say that yet. I mean, he did. I don't know. That's hard. That's hard to say.
Yeah. I don't know. I really want him to prove me wrong. I would think surely that's the end of this feud. Maybe they'll have one more match, but they'll probably both be in Money in the Bank or something. But I would think this feud is over with, and maybe the next one he'll finally like really heat up again, like his feud with Rollins was.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, all the work he did last year was incredible. His program with Rollins, and then his title feud with Reigns.
Yeah, you're right.
He's got it. I don't know if maybe he's just been a victim of booking. And I mean, I know we got Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Doesn't get much bigger than that, but man, I don't know.
It's just disappointing. For like, no matter what the reason is, if he just isn't as good as we thought he was, or if he's just struggling with his booking, or he's just not getting big wins in the right places, or what it is, his position on the card. But it's just, I can't wait for him to catch fire again, because I am confident that he will.
Definitely.
Okay, so moving on to our main events, we had Charlotte versus Natalya in a submission match for the Women's Championship. And this was another match that I found to be very disappointing. I had no problem with the ending, but it reminded me of old women's wrestling. It reminded me of Divas wrestling, not women's wrestling.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. I mean, it's easily the worst of the Charlotte and Natalya. Is it a trilogy now? I think they've had 4 matches now.
Yeah.
Count NXT as well.
Oh yeah, you're right. To determine the NXT champion.
So 4 matches. The first 3 were phenomenal. I'll put those matches against any men's main event. But yeah, it wasn't super great. And I also think maybe, I don't know why. I think from a story standpoint, I don't think anybody thought that Natalya was actually going to win, so it was hard to get invested.
Right.
And then, yeah, I don't really know what. Maybe they're just having an off night. I don't know. It's a bad. A pay-per-view night is a bad night to have an off night.
Right, definitely.
It happens.
Especially for Natalya, who was really battling with relevancy, being back at the top of the women's division after so long.
Right.
And all she really has to go on is her matches, because I've never thought she was one of the best. She was all that great at promos. So when she delivers, it was just boring. I didn't care about it at all. And then Dana Brooke came out, and that's fine. I guess if she can't be with Emma, she needs to have somebody with her, because she has a lot of weaknesses right now. That's fine. But I don't know. It was just,
I like it. I like Dana Brooke a lot.
Yeah,
I think being with Charlotte and Rick, and then feuding with Natalya, is going to do wonders for her. I'm really excited to see what happens with that for sure.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it happening, but it's more like why in storyline, why would she care?
Right.
Because they haven't even explained on TV that Emma is injured. I don't think.
Did they not? I thought they said
maybe they did. Maybe they did. I missed SmackDown, so I wouldn't say I missed it. I didn't watch SmackDown.
Well, it happened on SmackDown. It definitely happened.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure they made there was a small aside about it on Raw last week.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to wait. I'll wait and see on that. Also, definitely we need to know why. Hopefully they'll explain tonight. Hopefully they don't just explain it away like they did with Charles Robinson from Payback. Just saying, oh yeah,
He just wanted to do it.
everything's fine.
Yeah, don't worry about it anymore. He's just going to continue to be a ref, though. He might have even been the ref last night. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't care.
When Dana Brooke came out, because she comes out in the flare robe, I actually thought it was Charles Robinson. I was like, oh,
that would have been kind of neat.
Little Nate.
That would have been pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe if it had been Charles Robinson, it would have been kind of cool. But I do agree with you that it will be good for Dana Brooke, assuming they have a good storyline explanation. I don't have any problem with it. And now, surely this feud is over because it'll be Natalya and Dana Brooke. So maybe finally Sasha will enter the title picture.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I think, well, if Dana Brooke ends up staying with Charlotte, like if they become a duo for a while, which I do think she will, maybe that would be Sasha's cue to get involved.
Yeah, and then do Natalya. Yeah, do Natalya and Sasha versus Charlotte and Dana, and then have Sasha pin Charlotte, and then so she gets the title match.
As if she needs another reason to get a title match.
When she's
besides being screwed over by Ric Flair at WrestleMania, but I'm not still bitter about that.
And still literally being undefeated in singles competition on Raw, but you know, whatever.
Never. She's okay.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
So last of all, our main event: Roman Reigns defending against AJ Styles in an Extreme Rules match, and it was just, oh my lord, you're Darth Vader.
Yes, it's fine.
It was the exact same as their payback match to me.
Yep, it sure was. And I mean, put on a great match. I was entertained. They had me believe a couple times. Like truly, I thought, oh, maybe they're just gonna.
Well,
they changed their plans. Who knows?
He hit his finisher on a steel chair, so you're not wrong to think that AJ Styles was gonna win. So we were complaining about finishers early. That's ridiculous to me. That is so.
Yes.
Like I know one of the Usos pulled AJ off, so he had like a few seconds to recover. But are you kidding me? Like, what else? Like, the announcers always like to say, like, well, what else could he do to him? That's right. He did his finisher on top of a steel chair. We have been taught through watching wrestling that's about as devastating as anybody can do to anybody else.
Right.
Nope. He's just fine. And then, once again, I know he put him through 2 announce tables. He speared him on the outside, all that. But that was basically one of the first covers Roman went for, too, was he got it back in the ring, he hit the spear in midair, that's it, and he just wins. Like, Roman is just the better man. And then, so Seth Rollins returns. I'm really happy about that. I love Seth Rollins. He was really, really missed.
Yes.
And that's, I'm sure.
I think that could save that.
And I'm sure that's our program moving forward, and I have no problem with that either. But AJ's going to move down the card now, and that's really disappointing when he deserves and has proven he belongs in a lot more. Like, even if he goes into the excellent Intercontinental title picture, like, I don't know. He needs something huge, and I'm very disappointed with this, with the finish to the match, and their just insistence that Reigns is a face. And I don't know. Just the whole main event picture right now is really upsetting to me. Unless Rollins just beats him, but even that I think is going to be pretty disappointing, or pretty. I don't think they'll do that. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say.
I want it, but I don't think.
At least not right away.
Go back right away. I really don't think he will. Maybe by Mania next year.
Yeah. I do think that the stage is set for them to finally do the Shield triple threat we've all been wanting. So I'd be really happy, you know, if that finally comes to pass. But I don't know. I'm happy that Rollins is back, and I don't think that AJ Styles was buried. He showed once again what an excellent wrestler he is, but it just...
Yeah, he wasn't buried. I think he's definitely going down the card because there's literally nowhere else to go but down.
Right.
I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, I hope so. Really, tonight we'll begin to tell, you know, tell why. Like, don't keep him off because to sell injuries. Like, he needs to be back and just get right into another feud with another big guy. So that basically wraps up our discussion and review of Extreme Rules as we lose yet another match on Battlefront here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All in all, I don't know if I would go so far as a B+. I guess I did like most of the matches well enough. Only the Asylum match and the women's match did I really dislike, and the Intercontinental title, well, you know, like we said, was one of the best of the entire year. So I guess, yeah, B+ is probably pretty fair. And we'll
if
probably...
Rollins doesn't come back at the end of it, it's a B-, maybe even a C+.
Yep, I agree. It definitely pulled out. And without the Intercontinental title, it'd be lucky to even have a C.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But that'll probably wrap it up for us today. Thanks as always to the Iceman for joining me. We'll be back with some more Star Wars discussions and other things here on War Stories every Tuesday and Thursday. But make sure you subscribe to the Full Ensigns channel because I have content coming every single day. Thank you so much once again for watching. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed, and we'll see you soon. I don't know about you guys, but we're full.